PC Cortina City, and this is my Dinitrol double bill video. Bit of Dinitrol, bit of a check-up on Swampy, and some great news about Project Bramble. Come on, join us. Dinitrol double bill. Let's go. That's more like it. Sounds of spring. A blue tit there, calling for a mate. Spring is on its way. The bird song is back. A little bit of sunshine today, first of the year. Actually saw some sunshine. Bramble in under cover. Floor nice and clean. Welcome aboard. This is episode 4 of the strip down. Pete C on the controls. And thank you very much everybody on YouTube for support over this series so far. It's kicked off to a flying start. I think you're all with me. So we're all in it together. It ain't just my resto now. It's your restoration as well. It's about you, it's about the car, it's about me, it's about all of us. I hope I'm going to be meeting you one day when this car's done, and even before that, the NEC possibly with Ruby. Do you want to meet up at a car show? Anyone that's on the channel, anyone that's commented or subscribed, come and join me, come sit down. A beer, a tea, lemon tea, iced tea, coffee, latte, espresso, whatever you want. Herbal teas, I don't mind, it's all good. A beer. Gin and tonic. What's your tipple? What do you want to do? Want to meet up in the summer? Chat about things? Want to carry on watching this? If you can't make it, don't worry. I could be coming through your town. Want to drop us a line? I'll see if I can call in. Not a problem. So we're all in it together as we walk round and begin to bag everything up. We've got the bubble wrap ready. Look at that heater, it really needs to be protected. Those delicate centre console components. Get these seats under cover. We may have a unit, we might be alright, but in 4 weeks time till we can get ourselves out of here into the unit. In the meantime we're going to have to battle on through with limited space. Ruby watches on. Rare use of the zoom now for Ruby. Ruby watches on. Swampy in the wings, don't worry, he's not far away. Swampy will be coming for an appearance because he's getting ready for his show season. He's going to be getting the Maguires, so I'll have another Maguires clean up with Swampy. That's another video for you. Plenty going on. There's some road trips planned. We're going to keep it going. For now, it's bubble wrap time. Masking tape and a Sharpie marker pen. We want to know what's under the bubble wrap. Masking tape so you can write on the name of the item. Scissors or blade, sharp knife, bubble wrap. Let's go, let's start packing these parts up. Promised you that dash would come out. We're going to start taking that to bits as well. Welcome aboard and let's roll it. Let's go. Cortina City, ready to go. Here's a little tip for you. One box at the end of the heater, another box at the other end, so that each end of the heater, and then a middle sleeve for it. So I'll just take one box off, then slide on this middle sleeve, and that creates a box that's just the right size. It completely encapsulates the heater box. Reason we do it so bolt and braces with that is the fiberglass heater box. As you know, if you've watched the other films anyway, how fragile they are. They're made of a fiber type material. It's not fiberglass, but it's not Bakelite. It's just a fibery material, very fragile. And we hope that we can refurb this heater and keep it because they are the original unit. You can get plastic ones on the later cars, have plastic ones, especially Mark 5s, Cortinas, and they're much more durable, but they're not quite in appearance the same. So we want to try and keep it original. For that reason, this is going to long-term storage. We want to make sure it's safe. It's going to get moved around a couple of times now while we get between workshops and into our new home. Alright, so what I've done, just cut a box, middle out of a box, onto there now, so that's that safely done. Okay, heater box packaged up, and now we turn our attention to some of the trim pieces. And if you remember, these I didn't keep calling them door cards, these rear quarter cards, badly damaged. Look how the damp's distorted the card. I'll show you what I mean. Flipping it over then to see how the weather over all those years has made this hardboard backing piece deteriorate and distort as it gets damp. Then the summer dries it out, then the winter damps it in again. Shrinkage and under tension pulls, and you're left with that. Now I wouldn't like to replicate this vinyl covering. Look how it's embossed here. Just hold on 2 secs while I get the light for you so I can give you a bit of a better viewing experience. Hold on, light coming up now. Okay, coming back to the card, all distorted. Now there is one piece of damage on this there, but that's covered by the seat, so we're alright with that. We can get away with it, won't be seen. Look at this rippling effect here on the vinyl, and let's have a look how it's actually constructed. I've never really taken one of these apart before, but we can see that we've got separation there, and then we have a foam or a felt type foam padding then goes onto the hardboard, and it is just normal hardboard, so that's good because we can get that. Some of these clips that fasten it will be damaged, but we think that Bresco.com can help us with those. So it looks like it's not bonded to the hardboard, and that the vinyl will lift off like this, and we can then get a new hardboard cut based on that template shape and reattach this using a 2-part adhesive, a contact adhesive. Hopefully these wrinkles then can be straightened out as it's retensioned. It doesn't look like the vinyl's damaged, it's just distorted. I believe that that will repair some bad wrinkling at the top, but no perforations, so there's a good chance we could fix this if we play it right. It's not something that we're going to do now, but it's nice to know that we don't have to be on the lookout for these. Of course, if some come up, I'll take them, but I doubt it. GXL on a 2-door, as we've established, is a rare thing indeed, but that's not to say they won't come up. If they do, and the price is right, let's look at getting some. But wouldn't it be nice to actually keep as many original parts on the car as we can? So I'm quite confident. I'm happy that it's not actually threaded through or stitched through, it's just an embossed pattern. So it will separate away from the card and we can salvage that. It's best to try and straighten them out, because in storage now they could go even worse. So I'm tempted to remove the vinyl and then make a brace pack and flatten the vinyl out and then store the card as the template separately. Tempted to do that, to break these down. Okay, just as I was doing that, the door was in my corner peripheral vision, and even the doors haven't really rotted that bad. I've got 2 new old stock doors, but even these doors will go again. These are easily repairable doors here. So isn't that incredible? The doors haven't rotted out. How have those doors not rotted out, you know? And they are in silver fox, so it's incredible how the doors haven't rotted, because they always go, well, it's flaky under there, but it hasn't like cavernous holes. You know, it just shows how it's survived. And talking of doors, we've got to obviously take the door cards off. These are door cards. Okay, so a few things to be doing while we pack and go. Okay, let's continue on. Okay, I've just placed a sun visor in one of the storage boxes. You can see with this sun visor, these are the early sun visors on pre-facelift cars and also on Series 1, where they use a single post attachment to the car. Later on they connected it with a hinge on both sides, a sort of I'm trying to think what it was now. It's sort of a post, 2 rotating posts that fit on both sides of the visor. In the early days you could clip this down and rotate it and put it to the side of your window if the sun was coming in at the side, which I like. They worked on a socket. That socket is built into the structure of the roof on the A-pillar where it finalises in the roof area. A socket's built into the structure within the roof, and that's the socket there. And it has a bayonet type fitting similar to a light bulb. You push under tension of a spring that's located inside here, push and turn, and that locks it into your car. So to get these out, you carefully push that in, rotate the visor and pull down. There's a little piece of plastic trim there which is rare, you mustn't lose that. This has got quite a bit of damage to it. There's a metal frame inside with a foam pad and a mirror there indicating that it's the passenger side. The driver's side has a map reading slot. I say map reading slot, a document slot. So that's pretty bad. Okay, but you could fix that if you could insert the mirror into it, clean this up and straighten the frame. It's not perforated or damaged in any way. And if you look at the material of it, this is the material that we found underneath the carpet, offcuts of it, yet these would have been already built, so I don't know why there'd be an offcut of that material. So that goes in with the rest of the quarter cards, armrests and the map reading pockets. They're quite distorted, but they can be fixed as well with new hardboard inserts, or by indeed attaching it to a new hardboard backing, depending on what you want to do. So some interior trim bits to think about for the future. For now, long-term storage. And we've just had word, we've got 2 Cortina fans on the way down to see the car. We're looking forward to greeting those. They're coming to see Ruby. We've got Disco Dave coming down, and Tony P100. Tony P. So we'll welcome those people to part 4 of the strip down. A little bit of entertainment for you when the guys come in. We'll have some banter, and I do believe we're going to have a beer to celebrate the condition of Bramble. So I'll raise a glass to you guys as well in YouTube later on, and I hope that if you're watching in the evening time that you're having a beverage with us. Will it be a glass of beer, a brew, coffee, whatever your tipple is? We hope that you can join us later on in a couple of cups, a couple of coppers, a couple of glasses, whatever you want to call it. So continuing on, just some soapy water on the centre console before we wrap it. I'd rather not wrap it all covered in muck. It also gives you an idea of the condition, which you can then write onto the wrapping, so you know when you look through your parts you've got your condition 8 out of 10, 6 out of 10, whatever you want. In this case, this one, we give this one an 8 out of 10 because there's no plastic broken on it. It needs a repaint, it's scratched, but we have that paint from the Ruby operation, so that's fine. It's all complete, needs a new gaiter. The internals are okay. It needs the trim piece here repowder coating or replating. It's actually a stippled finish. You can use truck bed liner for that, or you can just powder coat that. It needs a new lid, but we get them retrimmed with the Continental trim pack. I prefer that, as Ruby's got it. Make a new foam piece, because these were never very comfortable anyway, unless you're a real stickler for originality. We'll keep our eyes out for one, but I do like the foam pad ones. I know it's a slight mod, it's only a very subtle one. There will be some very small mods on the car, but almost stock. The radio will be MP3, but an original one, as we've done on other projects where we make the radio look original, but it plays not with a lead but of its own dedicated MP3 system. We'll be doing that. Look back through the other videos if you want to see how that's done. Project Ruby, around episode 20, we're building the radio setup. Okay, so some cards there, sound deadening insulation cards, just straightening out, probably savable. They haven't broken down, just still a little bit damp. Let them flatten out flat before we pack them in a special box. We'll make a cardboard box for those. So we've got a few other things to clean up. Just bringing you up as the camera pans slowly round. Centre console, a wipe down again with the soapy water before we package it. And then we're working our way to clearing out the inside of the car, because all this stuff was just stored in it for now. So carrying on, I'll just give this a wipe down, then I'll wrap it up. Centre console. Dave's speaking.
That's a bit rude.
What's the accurate?
That's a bit rude. Oh, that's a bit rude as well. Look at that, proper two-door seats.
Reminds me of that great video.
Oh, two-door with the square shoulders.
Let's have a Scouse take on things. Even though he's not Scouse.
Sauna.
No.
Wow.
Anyway, get toast. Pleased to see you again, Pete.
And you, Tony. We've got Tony here and Dave.
Hello!
Disco Dave and Tony P100.
Super.
Dave's just having a look round. I told you some guests were coming in. We've got some special guests. You're going to be on YouTube, boys.
Hooray!
You're going to be on the old show.
I'll see myself then, will I?
You will. You'll be in episode 4 of the inspection.
Yes.
These guys aren't unfamiliar with rust, are you, boys?
Oh, hell no.
An old friend.
An old friend of Dave's. Just a little intermission in episode 4, the strip down. We give you a little break. We got news of a Cortina being restored in the vicinity, so we're going to go and check it out. Disco Dave, a Mark III being finished in the maize yellow light ruby, and even with, check this out, a ruby interior, can you believe? So we'll go check that out now. Disco Dave's Cortina. I can see everything. I can see everything, Dave. You cover me. I'm going in now. I'm going to make my attack run now. I'll circle round. Going in now. Bomb gone. Bomb gone. We have a Mark III under construction. This is what we like. All these projects going on, everybody. You just wouldn't know these things were out here. We're in a little Aladdin's cave. I think this guy likes his beer.
What do we have here?
It's a soundproof. This is for insulation, is it? These beer mats. Look down. What's under the covers? You go hunting and you find my favourite car, a 1.6 GL. Dave, I had one of these in Stratos silver.
Beautiful. This was my wedding car.
Wow, the estate. There's all sorts of goodies in people's garage. Dave, what we got? Hit me with your best shot, boy. We got the front clip off the car. And what is this but if it's not a ruby dashboard? Ruby's the colour of this year for sure. What reg was it on, Dave, that car? That Mark III?
73, old place.
Yeah, so you get your split vents there.
I wouldn't have known that.
Dave.
I'm a Mark V.
Look at this clip. We're ready.
Courtesy of A1 powder coating.
Yeah, it's Taff. See, there you go. A1 powder coating delivered on that. So there's Cortina bits on our little trip out.
Here you are. Two bushes.
We recognise these, yep.
Yes.
These are your flow flex. Are they flow flex?
They are.
Flow flex, so if you're stuck for bushes, guys, you even get the chassis clip bush
They did
there.
me a deal on those. They said some bits I didn't want, so they threw those in for the same price.
Well, there you go. Just goes to show what's going on in the backstreet garages. And look, there's my grill that I needed. We'll pinch that, thank you very much.
Stop thief.
Yeah, stop thief. There you go then, a Mark III under construction, Disco Dave's. What's it going to be finishing? Maize, Dave? Maize and ruby?
2020.
Superb. Maize and ruby. All the welding being done and a very good solid shell for Dave to work with anyway. The usual demons of rust in the usual places, but all taken care of. Tony P100 at the controls on the welder and Dave fabricating. So a little project going on. Hope to give you an update on that at some point from Disco Dave.
This horrible old purpley colour which is on mine.
Dave, don't think I haven't spotted all these bits up here.
Yeah.
Little Cortina. Oh, I like that clock. Now then, that's the real deal.
There you go.
Ah, needs a battery, but...
Would you like to see my first Cortina?
Yes, please.
There it is, that one.
There we are.
BTB 106T from Skipper's Ford in St Helens, and that was my second one. And that long-haired yobbo was me on Audi.
There's Disco. In the 60s that day.
Yes, yeah. Surprised it's not sepia.
80s that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jelly mould. Oh, is Jeremy Vines still on?
Yeah, he's
I
rubbish.
thought he'd finished at 2 o'clock.
Oh no, you should. Well, the clock. It's 10 to 9. It's really 20 to 9. It's really late.
You know what? That's right twice a day, that.
Actually, I've just took some battery. I should do that. I've just got some batteries out.
Don't talk to me about acid.
No.
Or
no.
magic mushrooms, anyway.
No, we don't do any of that.
Shrooms.
The only acid we have here is vinegar.
Herbal tea.
Pickling.
Pickling
I
acid.
ain't seen this.
There we are. Right, so what do you use?
That is just Morrison's own white vinegar at
There you go.
39p a bottle.
Why not?
In fact, vinegar, I beg your pardon. It's only just cheap vinegar, and they've been in there for
So we're pickling
a
aren't
while.
we, really?
Yeah, basically
Pickling the
that's what
bottles.
we're doing. And you can see they actually come out rather clean.
Very nice.
Mm.
So just leave to cook for half an hour on what, gas mark 5?
To be honest with you, they've been there about 3 weeks.
Gas mark,
Hello, it's the birthday
gas
boy.
mark 5.
Right.
Family affair, this,
Yeah,
all
isn't
in
it?
all. Guys, come on in for a bit of a Cortina meeting and a little mini video update. Just come on in, no problem. Swampy's in. Let's close the doors. Another cold blast on the way. Will this weather ever give up? I don't know. Swampy's in for a little bit of an inspection and a little bit of a pre-season showdown. I'm doing little jobs like greasing the electric aerial, changing the brake fluid, checking the wax oil situation. We've got a camera going into the sills just to see how Swampy's held up over the years. He's into his 4th year now, 30,000 miles of pretty heavy hard usage. His little clock stopped again on the dash, so dash is out. I'll open up and show you. Dash is out just because the clock stopped ticking. So hang on, radio down a little bit. We're having problems with YouTube picking up songs and muting in my videos. So delicate. So delicate, and so for Swampy. How's he held out? Let's have a little look round and just see. Now, we had some stone chips down the front. I'll show you where they were, just by the underrider there. So my paint guy has put in just the lower valance so that he's looking show spec. And we had also just on the leading edge of the bonnet there. So these letters off, and then he's put in some paint along where the stone chips have hit the front leading edge of the bonnet. I guess that's just part for the course for a car that was used as much as this was. The electric aerial was just sticking a little bit. That's a good German electric aerial, a Bauer one. But I've took it out to pack it back with grease because that gets a lot of water in that. So that's a job I'm doing. What else did we do on Swampy? Change the brake fluid. Underneath he's holding out quite clean. We've been going around and just cleaning under here and just checking there's no damage, and then we've got some inspection holes at the back of the sills which we put the camera in to see how the wax oil's holding out. Also, I'm reapplying wax oil, so I've got the door cards off, of all 4 door cards coming off, so we can inspect the condition inside the doors, because they're the first thing that's going to go. So what we did was, if you want to have a look, we'll open your door card off so we can see how. Now this polythene, the good thing about using that double-sided tape, the Scotch one that I use, is it just reuses the sticky, so you just stick the polythene back on. So polythene's peeled back, and then we look inside of the doors, and you'll see the original Dinitrol there still holding out. We might just give it another dust of the thinner Dinitrol, the 126. I'll take you through that in a minute, just because there's 2 types of Dinitrol. The thicker stuff, I'll run through the canister values in a sec, the actual numbers, but I'm going to reapply because it's 4 years worth and it won't do any harm. It's a bit of a pain taking the card off, but I was just dying to see what was inside and how he's held out. And then I've been going around the car looking for any signs of corrosion. I haven't found anything particularly bad just yet. In fact, I haven't found anything apart from where I've got a scuff on one of the sills and where I've got in and out with my feet. I've got that little leading edge on the bonnet which we touched in. It's best to keep it tip top if you can, then you keep it on top of the car. Closing the door, just hold on. Going round to the front wheels, he's not been cleaned up the front end yet. I'll bring you the torch on because this is going to go dark and you're not going to be happy with me. So, but you know, just keeping your eye on things. Nothing significant on this side. I'll go all round now and check. So we are checking for anything that's crept. Let's have a look underneath. Stay with us then, let's keep the camera down, switch the lights, the LEDs are side on to the light, underneath. I haven't been under here for a while. On a heated floor, so it's quite good fun just to crawl down, it doesn't worry you, it's quite nice. Sometimes you have a little sleep down here. So Swampy underneath then, 30k miles. How's he held out? There's our drain channels for the sills. They're clean. Okay, just looking back, see how far we can go. Can we see anything around that all-important seat mounting plate? No. Changing the light for you again. Just looking. I mean, it'd be better to get it on the ramps. Little bit of rust that's crept out the exhaust seam join. There. See? A little bit there, so we could repaint that exhaust middle box if we wanted to. But the best way for doing the underside really is to be on the ramps, but just looking initially, very clean. No sign of rust coming out of the sills. Can see that the Dinitrol's still in place just on that edge. Looking really nice, looking really good. So Swampy holding out nicely. Let's fix his clock. Let's put some wax oil into those doors, both sides, so that we've got a reapplication of it. It's just the doors that worry me the most, because you don't want to lose, you don't have to be repainting a door or anything like that. You just want to keep on top of the weather. We'll check the axle oil, change the engine oil, we'll do those things on this car bit by bit. But today, just for this video, wax oil, I'll show you what gun I use and how I apply the wax oil to these chassis cavities and to the doors. It's a reapplication, it's pretty well protected anyway, and it'll probably last, but I'd feel better if I did it and then he's ready, he's done. He's been undercover in the winter anyway, so it wasn't like a job that needed to be done end of season. Well, it's always better to do it end of season. But I got the opportunity to do it, and the wax oil gun happens to be knocking around. I say wax oil, it's Dinitrol. So people were wondering where he was, and here he is. Okay, here's your stuff. Dinitrol. This is what we want going into them door cards and into the rest of the cavities. So we're going to take you through now. Down we come. We're on selfie stick, but we're not. It's my handheld. I don't know how people film like this. I can't do it. Right, here's our kit coming in. Continuous take. Wax oil guns in here, guys. You might have seen this on previous videos. I don't know. If you just joined us, hello, welcome aboard. Thanks for the support. Patrons are going good. If you don't know what the Patreon is, have a look at the last video upload. It's a call out for some help on Patreon. We've got some guys on board and we're going to be sending them some stuff on the Patreon site. Appreciate that. Guys and girls on board. Okay, inside here is the wax oil gun. Drawing it out now. This tube, this air compressor pipe, is typically a stiff tube, which makes it a bit difficult to bunch up. We bring it out. This is the thing that makes life easy for us, and this is what you want to be investing in if you're keeping your car tip top to the top. Okay, so Sealy do the gun. Now look, oh yeah, it's definitely Sealy. Look what we've got, wax inject kit just coming up here, guys. Sealy Power Products wax inject kit model. Model is a skilled rare use of zoom again. Sorry about this. SG, oh, I can't quite see it. SG1 looks like. Model number SG1. Useless focus. Come on. SG1 gun, right? This is what you want for your Dinitrol. First, before we talk about the gun, talk about Dinitrol. You've seen it in Project Ruby. If you've not, skipped through, and you'll see when we fully wax oil or Dinitrol Project Ruby, and indeed earlier videos on Swampy. Corrosion prevention, two types. There's ML and then there's 126, I think, which is thicker stuff. The ML's the thinner stuff, good for the actual panel seams on your doors and where an edge of a panel folds over, like where anything's skinned, like the boot skin and the bonnet skin, anything that's skinned over that requires something to creep into it, go for ML. Okay, then stuff that doesn't need that actual creeping action, you go for, I think, but don't quote me on this, I think it's 126. I actually thought I'd brought a tin with me today, guys, and I haven't. 126 is a bit thicker. If it is 126, it's definitely the next one up on the Dinitrol range. It's just basically a thicker stuff which you can apply outside of the car, so you can blast something with it and it just forms a nice film over it which hardens over time. Good for, say, the back of your indicator lenses in the front wings where they get a lot of stick from the road. Perhaps your electric aerial, which is what I did. I blasted it in that. If you wanted to and you weren't going completely concourse clean underneath, you can spray bits of your trailing arms and stuff like that with it. Perhaps not trailing arms, but something that you want to cover, and you don't mind about the visual aspect of it. That's the other type. I wish for you guys that I had that name. I thought it was in here, but it's not. These are all ML tins. Okay, enough of that for now. Dinitrol's the range. Check them out on the website, and you'll see the ML on there, and you'll probably see the other type of slightly thicker liquid. I use white spirit as well to clean all the guns out. Later on, you've got to clean your guns and your lines. Okay, now let's talk about the gun. Talked about what I'm going to use today with the ML spec. This is a gun from Sealy, as I said, pressurized vessel. Okay, so airline going into the vessel. Unscrew your canister there and fill it with the ML. ML at room temp is nice and liquid anyway. The 126 is, if it is 126, I'm going to keep saying that, you're going to do your head in, aren't I? Needs to be heated. So this one, the thinner stuff, don't need to be heated. The thicker stuff, you put it in. Once you've pierced the top, don't forget to pierce the top, just make a little air hole, drop it in some hot water, as hot as water as you can, and then that'll thin down your liquid. You can also use a heater, but be really careful when you use an electric heater to heat this up. I've used electric heaters. In fact, I use one of those infrared bar heater, those garage type infrared ones, which are very good. And I melted the top, and I've also forgot to break the seal in the past on these, and blown a tin open, would you believe? So you've got to be careful with that. If heating up your Dinitrol, make sure the canister is supervised and pierced, or you could get a split or a rupture in your cam. So then that would be then poured into this. This vessel here unscrews off the top of the Sealy gun. You'll have already cleaned out your lines if you've used it before. If it's brand new, you won't have to. Make sure your lines are clear using the white spirit after you've used them. This nozzle comes with the kit. Great little nozzle. You can direct that little nozzle there anywhere you want, and it comes out as a fine mist. Really good. You can also use these attachments here, which I keep in my rust proofing box. A longer lance, and this is a sort of, if you look at the way that we're going to do at the palm of the hand trick, guys, bear with me again, palm of the hand, because that always gets the camera to focus. See how the shape of that nozzle there, that allows a really 360 degree, what you call a fan pattern. So that, if placed in the center of your box section, would give you complete coverage. So I would be coming, let's come at your camera, at your screen, you'd be coming in and pulling back. You always pull back, then you're not pushing against your wax. So I'd go into a cavity and then withdraw. In the case of Swampy, we went in through the back bumpers and we went in through the front bumpers on Swampy, and the camera indeed has revealed that it's all intact in there and as good as when I put it on. So that's good news. So we've checked all the sills as well. We've checked the sills by taking off the carpet trims and then looking inside with the camera. I left the camera at the unit. I'm going to have to show you that footage, but there's inspection holes all the way along the sills and at the end, so you can get in and see how the sills are looking, and they're looking really good. So we're just reapplying the doors. I think when I did Swampy, I didn't have ML. Okay, I was on the thicker stuff, so I'd like to get into them door skins and just redo some areas in the sills, I think, even though it looks good. I'm just going to basically top it up, is what we're saying. We're topping up a bit of wax on Swampy. So that's the gun, and that's the great tool to use. It's got a quick release end on it here that you pull in, and then the lance will pop out. It's a sort of like an airline fitting. If I pull back on that, this pops out and you can change to your different nozzles dead quick. I run it with this little compressor here, an SWP compressor, a Zephyr 350. Just about does it for handheld stuff with the small lance. If you do a long run, here's the long run pipe. This compressor here just about can push it through the long run. The good thing about using the pressurized gun as opposed to just a Schutz gun is you can use a long tube like this. This was just some water pipe that I had lying around. I put a nozzle in the end, and this can go right into the box sections on your inner wings. So I fed this down from the front bumper iron connection points by taking the bumper off, then feeding this down into the inner chassis legs and right the way down into the chassis until it got to the driver's seat. And because it's pressurized, it forces, as long as you've heated up your wax oil and it's nice and thin, it'll force the Dinitrol. I'll keep calling it wax oil, so apologies for that. It's just programmed into us, isn't it? It'll push the Dinitrol right through that tube. So the idea being, I feed the tube all the way into that chassis down, then activate the trigger gun and then start drawing out. That was done on Swampy, that was done on Ruby, and it'll be getting done on Bramble. So I'm going to fire the compressor up. We're going to load this with the Dinitrol, some gloves on now because it gets a bit messy, and we'll blast some into the doors both sides and then carry on cleaning Swampy up, get him out of the way. And then, because it's a Dinitrol double bill, I've got some information for you for Bramble, just thrown in the mix, just to keep some film footage going. And my thought process just naturally unfolds. I don't script any of the films. Ideas will just fly into my head or pop into my head, whatever phrase we want to use, and then I think, oh, I've got to do that, and then it's like an electrical storm happens, and my brain just starts firing, all those neurotransmitters start going crazy, and I think, actually, that idea for this for that, and that can do this, and if I just did it, and I've just had one of those moments where I'd like to show you how I'm tackling the roof on Bramble and include it in this Dinitrol double bill. Okay, let's get on. I'll talk about that later on, but for now I'm going to put Dinitrol ML into the door sections, internal door sections of Swampy. Here we go. Okay, can you see okay, guys? Gloves on, canister off. This may indeed have some already in it. It'll be ML if there's anything in it. That's got a little bit in it. Might have enough to do the job. About half full. That's enough for the doors. Okay, you can see it's quite liquid, this stuff, at room temperature. We're at about, actually it's below room temperature, this. It's been in the back of the Mondeo, so I'm going to guess around 12 degrees. It's still liquid at that temperature, which is good, but you're better off with like I said, when you're using the next version up on the Dinitrol, you'll find that that's quite a lot more viscous, quite thicker. This is really ready to go. We just need to switch on the compressor, connect the air line up to that, take the blow line off, and then take you round to the door, and we'll just see it come out of there, and that'll be about it for that. We'll put the door cards back on, and we'll move on to something else on the double bill. Let's just see what we get. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're inside one of Swampy's doors. In this case, it's the front passenger door. There's my nozzle. Here is the gun just by me. I shall connect you up on the tripod now so I can do this with both hands, and we'll feed some in, just show you how the gun works, and then no need to do all 4 doors, but this will just be the same procedure all the way along. Okay, so just going in, torch is on so I can see where I go, hit the trigger. See that cloud coming out now? Absolutely fantastic coverage. Wow. Woo-hoo-hoo! Wow. It's better than I remembered. Mmm, smells good as well. Whoa. All the way round the mulberry bush we go. This, good. Dinitrol, good. ML, oh, yes, that's very nice. Now I'm just going back, I'm just remembering, I mean you might be able to find it on the Swampy vids, I don't know. They're out there somewhere. But the ML is better in the doors, definitely better in the doors. I seem to remember having to really heat the 126. If it's not 126, oh, Cortina! Just check what it is. I'll put a link at the bottom of the video as to the actual number. Please let it be 126. This just goes on nicely. So I'm going to bring you in. Continuous take again. Continuous take just straight off the seat and in. You see the dust. Not the dust, but the vapour. The mist. That's the word. Mist. Still going. And in we go for a great coverage. Alright, so just a good idea to just top up every couple of years. Top up. Let's say every 4 years, top it up. If you've been, or link it to your mileage, but it was due a top up. So that's what I use. And you could put this into the box sections first if you want, then go on the next, the 126 later on. But no problem with that. Really good stuff. So I'll go around and do the other door cards now. And obviously I've done a little bit on the sills yesterday, but I'll go again on the sills. You just take the sill trim piece off and then the carpet's accessible, you can get the gun in, and there's loads of inspection holes on your sills. Or if you want, use that blue long tube and go in from the end. You've got a bung at the end of your sill. If not, fit one and push the tube all the way down there and then draw it back, and you'll just get a really great coverage and you'll never have any rot on your sills. Alright, other than your stone chip on your paint, that might happen, and you'll get surface rust, of course, but better surface rust than stuff coming from the inside out. Alright, I can do the map reading pockets, flip them back and just go top up, or if I want I can go in through the lighting switch. There's always areas you can get in, but your vulnerable areas, bottom of your B pillars, bottom of your A pillars, box section, chassis underneath, most importantly your sills, then your door seams. They're always ones for going. You can always tell when you look at enough rotten Cortinas, you start to see it always goes there, always goes there, always goes there. And that's really what I've topped up today on Swampy. So top up, fix the clock, give him a spruce up, give him a clean, get him back under the dust sheet and keep him stored. And then we're going to switch back to the main event. Ruby is all done. There's nothing to do to Ruby. He's just ready for show season, ready for the NEC. Bramble, I want to talk you through that exciting roof job because we're getting a lot of questions coming in. Let me just turn around, give you a bit of a commentary. Hold on. Oh, you really want to keep seeing me on this stuff, but yeah, we've got a bit of narration going, haven't we? Why not? Great idea on Bramble is I've got a plan for the roof. I have a plan for the roof. Got a plan. We've acquired the Ford body repair manuals and all the dimensions and all the diagrams, really great stuff. I got a set, I got some Cortina ones, Mark 5, but principle's going to be the same. I got a Granada one and I got loads more manuals. I've stashed them in under the stairs just behind me. Keep it quiet, top secret. So those manuals show the procedure for doing the roof on Bramble. They show a full roof swap procedure which we can follow by the book. It involves leading, but guess what? I bought a leading kit. It's under the stairs. We're going to be using that on Bramble. It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to doing a Ford factory spec repair as close as we can. I've got the panels, got the parts, got the tools. They're coming up in the Bramble videos, of course. Today's video, I just wanted to let you know about that, so you can keep looking out for the videos when they come in. Today's a mishmash of stuff. It's a double Dinitrol, double bill mishmash of stuff, as my mind just thinks, what have I got to do, got this, and that can be done. Now all the cars are all here in one spot today. Let's just try and give them a bit of TLC each. Okay, back to the subject then. Off on tangent I went. You should now see it dripping out of the drain channels onto my lovely clean floor. What do? We put towels underneath the doors when you're doing it, because you get this. Okay, sorry, I shall go and mop that up. That's done, door card goes back together, and we carry on doing the other areas. Won't film those, but you know when you've got your car which bits you'll want to do, where water gets trapped, pointing out the important ones. And that's that for that bit of the video. I'll then show you how I fix the clock, and then we'll switch on to the talk through of Bramble. Okay, hope you're enjoying so far. Keep going. Let's keep it going, everyone. Got to keep stuff going through. And we've got a new unit. We may have a new unit thanks to the Patreon boys and girls. You're going to get me out into that new unit, and we can really get stuck in. Okay. You can go in there as well, so you're going to take the trim off, so we can get in there. With this nozzle, it's really great, so I direct that down to the bottom of that B-pillar, and that will fill that B-pillar up with wax oil. In fact, I can see it, just little bits of mist coming out. So that's a good one if you don't want to start taking off your inner trim. Carefully remove your door switch and blast down. Blast up as well if you want, really go for it. You can just get the nozzle, come on in, put it in, then rotate just like that. Squeeze your trigger and blast it upwards, but they don't really normally go that high up, but there you go. So we've covered that bit as well without having to take any extra trim off. Onto this back door, blast this now. Okay, leave that with me, let me blast the back. This is a good opportunity to make use of the fact that you can put cameras in all sorts of confined spaces, so why not do it now? And you'll get a view that you don't normally see, so we can see inside the door. Oh, that ML's got up all over the place. Let me just switch to directional lens. Directional LED. Can you see? It's a bit misty. You'll see the darker one is the original thicker Dinitrol, and the lighter brown is the stuff I've just put on. So it was already applied with the thicker Dinitrol, and the ML goes on. For the thicker stuff, on hot summery days, it would sort of form itself and carry on penetrating in, so that was quite good. I kept Swampy warm as well when I did it in the garage, put the heating on full whack. Into there, that bit. Now you can do this without taking the door cards off. Again, we'll mention it, make it easier, because if it's too difficult, you may think, oh, I can't be bothered taking that off, it'll be alright. That temptation's there, isn't it? But you can go through the drain channels. Let's have a look as I flip the camera upside down. I'm just going to keep watching my viewfinder so I don't lose where you're at. You may now go at a funny angle. I hope that doesn't make you feel a bit queasy. It shouldn't do. Underneath we go. Let's see where we are. You should see the drain channels in there somewhere, perhaps around there. We are. Okay, hang on, let me just turn the LCD viewfinder again so I can see what you can see. There, yeah, of course I was on it then, but I just wanted to make sure. Those drain channels, the good thing about that nozzle, let's go back and look at the nozzle yet again, is that you can place it into the drain channels underneath the door and get stuff in without having to worry about taking your door card off. But I preferred in this case to take the door card off because I wanted to see the condition inside the doors, how they'd held out. It's a bit of an inspection after 4 years, and why I was doing it that way. You can actually get a better coverage with going in with the door card if you really want to be thorough, but I'm not saying you can't, because you wouldn't be able to get up this end as well. So we'll see. I don't think you could even take out your door lock, could you, and get through that way? You'd lose your lock position. You might be able to. You could get down through there perhaps, but I don't think there's anything better than actually, you know, doing it when you've built it. If you're building the car, not using it a lot, and it's kept under doors. One application could do you for 10 years, you know. I'm not saying follow what I'm doing. This is really just to show you what I'm up to in the garage, as opposed to actually saying do this. It's up to you. Draw from it what's going to suit you. Inspection bunks just at the end of this sill, by the way. We're going to do a little bit in the boot while the gun's primed, and may as well. So just some other areas. I might just go around the boot areas. There's some areas here. I'll show you where they are actually while we're still on. Why not? The back of this can be a troublesome thing. The ML would definitely benefit in this area of your car, because this is a rust trap. Now you get to that by taking the sound deadening pad, the removable one. There's a removable pack here at the back of the car in the boot, and you pull it out, and that gives you access to here in the back of the striker plate. So we're going to do that as well. That's another area to bear in mind on your Mark III Cortina. Indeed, Mark IV and 5 both rotted in that position. There's the water. Hold on, let's go back to it. Sorry, there's the water condensation. I think would get this condensation inside the boot, forming on this bit. Cold air in the boot, and then condensated, and then nature, gravity. This would rot out. Okay. So those panels, if you ever see any on a car that are in good nick and the car's getting scrapped, I'd take them off, cut them off, drill them out, whatever you got to do. Okay, so ML dripping onto the floor there. We need to keep tidy, or it's all going to get all messy very quickly. I want to get off the wax oiling really now, because I want to get you on and keep this film concise. Again, ML coming out of the drain channels. Great stuff, guys. Happy about that. A little bit in the boot, the other two doors, clean up, terps, put everything away again, and it's switch to another task. Going as fast as I can for you guys. Okay, we're in Swampy's boot, and that's the area just at the back. You'll see 4 screws. Hopefully you can pick it up there. I'm going to blast that down. That gets down into that back area I've just shown you. So we'll cover that again. It's already been done when Swampy was built, but we'll go over it as we said. Okay, another area, and we'll do both sides as well. If you're in confined spaces, wear a mask, or ideally work with your garage door open. I'm just pulled back now while that mist comes out. I haven't got a mask. I'm just going to grab a mask now while I do this inside of the boot. I just realised when it was kicking back that you're actually breathing this, and you don't want to be breathing it in. Okay, so mask, important. Get some ventilation in your garage. I've got the door open. Double check, and the mask on as well. So here we go for blitzing that. So get a bit more, working my way back down now to these areas here again that can rot out as well. It's all been done, don't worry, when it was built, but I'm just going over some bits while the gun's out. Okay, that's the gun cleaned out and nicely packed away. We'll put them back into the storage shed now, and then the car, we start to just mop up it's inevitably going to dribble on the floor and onto the car itself. It doesn't attack paint, so you're okay. See how it's coming out there, down, don't worry, it looks horrible, but that's what we want. Evidence that it's getting out of all the drain channels. So I just now get the terps and a clean cloth. Don't touch the car yet until you've got yourself a brand new cloth or a washed cloth. You only do that at the very last minute. Okay, so it's a light bit of terps just to get it off the panels now. There's no way you can avoid that going onto the panels no matter what. Round this side, how much have we got spilling out? Not as bad. Some dribbles there, we just get them. So we clean up again, a little vac up, clean up, we put all the tools away to start the next job. If you do that, it's a lot better on the mind. If you're like me, you'll find that all the tools just suddenly start unveiling themselves all over the place. Look over here, we can't have this. Let's clean up, guys. Come on, tidy your rooms. Come on, and eat your greens. It's a lockdown. Guess what? I'm not happy with the floor. Well, I'm happy with the floor. It's a lovely floor, but I'm just about to start the next bit. Okay, you just saw the Dinitrol, but I got the wax oil off the floor, the Dinitrol off the floor. But I want to give it a little scrub, so we're coming in nice and clean. We've got the heating turned up. See, there's our boiler, rocking out the heat. There's our distribution manifold going into the floor. That makes a heated floor. But what we like is a really clean floor. Drive Swampy back in, then we're working in no clutter, nice and clean stuff. So a little bit of light soapy water, some non-streaking soap. I think I used pine gel. And a bit of pine gel in a bucket, hot water, then our super scrubbing machine. Let's fire it up and let's go. Let's clean the floor, then drive Swampy back in. Whoa! You're on board now with his floor cleaner. Go up a bit. Oh shit. That's better. I can think straight now. Okay, Swampy back in the garage. Clean, warm, dry floor. Let's go. Back in, it's time now to get an ultra clean cloth, little bit of terps, just to wipe off the excess Dinitrol. See how it's continued to dribble out of the door drain tubes, and then some letters to put back on the front of the bonnet, the grill to go back on, and then fix that clock I was telling you about. Well, I've actually fixed it now, but I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay, so clean floor, clean mind. Just show you these. The clock parts should be in it. 90s tapes, everybody, 90s tapes. Floyd. I'll put that back. I'll cover that with a gasket. Look at that later. Right, no, it's not in here, where is it? Unboxing videos, 10 trillion views for unboxing Cadbury's Easter egg. Oh no! So, I donated a clock out of that Swampy's old clock, but the face is off this one. The gubbins are the same. We'll talk you through that later. I may even do the clock as a separate repair video because then people can find it better. So, yeah, let's do that. Cloth next, clean up. We'll talk you through Swampy, get Swampy out, then Bramble comes back in for that roof job I was telling you about. A little bit of bonus on this the double bill, Dinitrol double bill. It's Dinitrol, it's cleaning, but it's a double bill because we talk about Bramble's roof. The video about Bramble's roof will be repeated, but don't worry, this gives you a little bit for now, because I've got a theory on the roof. This clean cloth just over here. And now to clean up, okay? Guys, it's the next day. It's just a few minutes for you, you're so lucky. For me it's a whole new day. Well, I did the clock on Swampy. I put it back in, it's ticking away nice. Here we go. So there he goes, that clock was fixed. I'm going to show you what I pulled out of it in a minute. So I've just cleaned up Swampy's interior and going around doing all the door shuts and the wheels and everything. That clock, before I forget, is the clock. Where's the clock? There's the clock. Okay, for the repair on the clock then, let's take you over somewhere where you can see it nice into natural daylight, I think. Turning round for the natural daylight. Okay, Ken's will make them, or Kinzel, German. This one's a Ford unit, 1971 on the sticker there. Electromechanical clock. A little solenoid inside there. Look at that purpley, coppery coloured item inside in the middle of your screens. Now that's your solenoid. What that does, it pulls a bar. It's a solenoid's an electric magnet. Pulls a bar inside the clock, and the bar loads up a spring weight. Alright, loads up a spring weight, which is equivalent to you just winding up your old style clock. Okay, in the old days, because time's moving on and some people might even remember wind-up clocks. All our age group do. Okay, quartz came of course later, but wind-up clock, that's the spring, so that's the kinetic energy. That flywheel there flies round with the solenoid, and that winds a helical spring which creates the kinetic energy, potential energy for the clock to tick. To operate the solenoid there's a pair of contacts, and this is where we'll see if the camera can really do this. Oh no. Well, let me switch to macro and I'll try and pick you up on macro. Hold on, switch to macro setting on the... Okay, with the intelligence setting on the camera it's able to switch macro in. You'll see a pair of electrical contacts. I'm going to line them up so they're roughly in the middle of your screen. Above the flywheel, look for the triple layered silver coloured flywheel type weight. Just above that there's a little set of electrical contacts, and what happens is when the clock's nearly run out of energy or the spring's unwound, the contacts get closer together till they touch. When they touch, it energises the coil, which sends the flywheel back round, rewinding the tension in the spring, and the cycle begins again. What happens is them contacts arc, get dirty, similar to a set of points, and they don't make contact and the clock won't rewind itself. You can take the clock to pieces and get to those contacts. You've got to be a little bit constructive how you do it, but it will come apart. This has to unscrew this stud at the back, and then you can get to those contacts and clean them. I've seen some where the contacts have actually fallen off and I've had to solder on a new set of contacts off an old relay. I've done that as well. They can be repaired if you're up for it. You can also calibrate the clock. Just where the K would be for the word Kinzel is a little tiny jeweler's size screw slot head. You can turn that, I don't know if it's anti-clockwise or clockwise, but that accelerates or decelerates the time. If you're going to do it, suggest put this on a 12 volt power supply on your bench and do it over a period of a few days. You're never going to get these accurate no matter what you do, but I tweak them in on that little grub screw there. If it's running fast, you just turn it and you mark how much you've turned it. So take note of the position of the slot, and then each day try and turn it a degree or two more. Just go in degrees because it's very sensitive, and you'll see the clock either fix itself for time over a week, accelerate too quick, gaining a minute, 2 minutes a day. Most of these don't stay accurate even when you've calibrated that. The best I got out of one was 5 days to the minute. No, actually, I think I got one to a week, lost a minute in a week. It's about the best you can get, or the best I've seen anyway. I'm not saying you can't, yours may be absolutely tuned. I did think about taking one of these to a clockmaker and asking him his opinion on the mechanics of it. I would never want to replace the internals with a quartz driven system because I like the retro sound of the ticking. That's the most important part. These have a distinctive tick, and also the recharge clunk is really relaxing. So that was the clock. That's what happened on Swampy. The contacts corroded. In fact, swapped the entire clock. Them contacts there will need addressing. So that's Swampy's old clock going out. We'll package that up and mark it as faulty. There's the rest of the parts in a little bag there on top of the jukebox. It shouldn't be on there, but don't worry, when we're moving the new unit we're going to have all these nicely stored away. So that's it out of the Speedo setup. Okay, back to the car. We're cleaning Swampy's wheels now and we're finishing off his detailing. So I thought I'd show you before I start this back of Swampy's wheel. This is about 400 miles worth of grime, and here we have the Maguire's all wheel and tyre cleaner, and it seems to be good. Safe on all coated wheels, extreme cling, grabs and dissolves brake dust and grime. Okay, so hit it, and let's let that work its little magic. Again, we're going in with our auto glim brush, which, as you saw on some of the cleanup videos, if not, click on some of my cleanup videos to see some detailing work on Ruby. I like this because it goes over the nut. You twist, and you don't have to shout because it's all the dirt is taken out. There's no taken out. There is. All the dirt is. I can see it. The foam's now gone browny colour, so it's obviously picking the muck up. These overuse words, do they do it? Do they do this technology? No, they haven't done this word technology, but if you look on these adverts on TV, occasionally I catch them. Don't watch TV, but I do. Occasionally there'll be a programme on and you'll just catch an ad. And when you do catch an ad, it's micro grip technology, micro bubble technology, micro air technology, micro XYZ technology fibres, hydrating action. This cream has a hydrating action. Did you know that? Yeah, it's got water in it. Okay, let's see how this goes. Guys, girls, I'm good with that. We've got some nice support on YouTube, and I've been saying, guys, when there's ladies, so it's ladies and gentlemen as well, to apologise for that to the female audience out there as well. I do apologise. I didn't want it to be a totally male dominated domain, because it isn't. It's for everybody, all ages, all genders, no problem at all. So apologies if I've always been guys. So guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, it works. This works. It's good. That's just with the brush. I use a little bit of warm water to wash the brush in. That's what I mean about the warm water. Bit of soap in that, just to help. And then this cloth, sort of getting semi-dry now because it's been used on another wheel, but that just absorbs the last of it. So that's pretty good. That saves a lot of messing around, especially if you go into a show. You can do this at the show, not making too much mess and not needing any hose pipes or anything like that. So good. Now we'll just do auto glim on the embellisher, and that wheel's done bar its tyre black. We'll do the tyre black once the tyre's bone dry. So all Swampy's wheels are done. All Swampy's wax oil is done, as you saw a few minutes ago for you, yesterday for me. Going round, doing some final checking before I park Swampy back up. Glass clean. We'll cut the paint with the G3. It probably needs it now. Some road grime, or clay bar it. We'll see what we do. When you see it, I won't go through that because it's covered on the winter cleanup videos, but Swampy will get that, and I'll just cut to Swampy clean, save you the time. We don't want to go over stuff. Detailing and cleanup videos are on the site. Click back through. This chrome strip here, we just get a little bit of soapy water And I like to put a little bit of oil on a cloth and wipe that down with a little bit of oil. We just be really careful with this grime because it can scratch that face there. So go carefully on the chrome trim around the wheel, and then we're done for that. Underneath, wheel needs to come off to get there. That tub paintwork's in very good order, as they all are, but it just needs a scrub down. Best with the wheel off to do that. A separate job. Sometimes there could be that much mud caked in here. If you've been unfortunate and got caught on a muddy day, you may be better off gently hosing it first, then make sure you dry it, and then go through with some oil in the seams if you indeed think the water's got caught. Or you can use an air gun and blow out, but careful with an air gun on localised air pressure because you can blow your paint off. Shouldn't have to, but you can run the risk of doing things like that. You've got to be careful with compressed air. But standing back gently, it's fine. Moving on. Okay, out of time, but about halfway through doing the detailing on the Swamp Monster, and he's held out really good. We did the wheels as we said, similar work to the winter cleanup video, but we're clean underneath. It's all come up clean. Look at that for 30,000 miles, and I've been to Italy, Scotland, France, Belgium, everywhere in it, and it just keeps on taking the punishment, but the paint just holds out. Testament to the Gravitex and paint job that was put on it, I think. That just wiped down. There was a hole, if you can see it there, but it's supposed to be there. It's a bolt hole. It's on Ruby as well. I thought something was wrong there. No, there's just a hole up the top for something to bolt through. Don't know what. So we fixed the aerial and cleaned up round the aerial, greased all the aerial pack. We've just got to get right in there. You'll see that black, that's the harder Dinitrol stuff. Open 326. I think I was saying 126 and it was 326. So good under there. Wheels come up nice. Coach lines and panel lines. Well, take a look down a panel line and a finish. And I've not even really cut it yet. I've just cleaned it down. Once we G3 again, we'll look even better than that. So Swampy taking the punishment but keeping on delivering the goods. People ask him where he was. He's in a good storage place. This side equally as good. Some stone chips, we've got one there by the badge. Not much I can do about it. That's the wear and tear you're going to get underneath here. Clean. Once my cloth just running down that front lower valance. A little bit of cloth work to do. 2 pipe clips to change. Notice they're not the right type. We'll be changing them. Funny what you learn as you go along. This side, panel wise, really smooth, really straight. All your coach line's good. Around this back wheel was a lot of crud in the back from the last 400 mile trip. Look at all that on the floor. Better get the polishing machine out, get this floor cleaned back down before we put the cars away. Clean under there. Petrol tank powder coating holds out well. Some bug tar spatter on it, we'll get that off, but the base metal of the petrol tank still comes up nice and clean. You can see this has took some stone chips on the back face of the Gravy, so that wants painting back in. We'll get the paint shop on to do these minor details. Little little chip around my filler cap where I caught it with a nozzle a couple of years ago. But what we do, when we've accumulated enough little bits, I'll take it into the shop and they'll do what they can to repair any imperfections. They've already done a few little bits for me. They just like to do a little bit at a time. So that's it for that. I've got some letters to put back on the bonnet where that leading edge was repaired. Stone chip on the leading edge. So it's took most of the stone chips down this side. About over 4 years, so I picked up 1 a year this side on average. Alright, so Swampy away soon. Another 2 hours on him to keep him really clean. We'll go for the interior as well. Okay, there he is. So we keep busy on a Saturday and a Sunday. Weather's atrocious, it's 0 degrees. Okay, I said I'd show you what's under the cupboard. We're at the cupboard area and we've got something really special that we've managed to acquire, and that's a proper Ford body panel repair manual showing you how to use a spot welder, how to do joints, and how Ford would have repaired your car if you'd have had an accident in it. So it shows all the systems, the jig there, showing the MIG type of equipment that you're going to need and all the procedures needed. It even shows a roof swap in here, which is great, showing a roof swap. Look there, they've just had it there, how to get your skin off and get your inner structure. Now this is the good thing about Ruby. Most of that inner structure that's on here, let me get it in a little bit more. Most of that inner structure on Ruby, funnily enough, is good. I've checked it out. It's only this front section, so we're going to peel the skin back, leave the inner structure, repair the inner structure, and we've got a new old stock roof skin. Even shows you where the braze lines are. This is a great book. Ford Official Body Repair Manual, showing you every technique you could wish for. And then we've got further manuals, further Ford Workshop manuals. I've already got a couple of copies of these, but this is the later edition one, part 2. So we've got that. We've picked up some more bits and bobs, some new old stock stuff, air filters, genuine over here for genuine motorcraft oil filter. You need that. I mean, I've already got one on, but there's a good spare. Ruby's, now she's done their mileage on that new engine, we can fit this. Oh yeah, in that would go. And also what we've got, courtesy of Jano-Matic, we've got a lead repair kit, brand new. So we're going to learn lead filling when we do these factory joins. Everything's in here to do it. Paste, brushes, all the sanding equipment, all the solder sticks, body soldering kit there, full body soldering kit I'm going to be learning how to do. Alright, so bits acquiring for Project Bramble coming in all the time, plans are going to be made. The whiteboard's going up next with our project plan on it to show which areas of the shell we're going to be attacking. So Project Bramble's got one more video to go, that's the dash strip out video. We have secured possibly a unit, courtesy of Patreon. Assistance on Patreon would seal the deal. Made me decide to go ahead and get the unit for Bramble to go in so as we can work in space and make mess without wrecking my garage here. It's alright once they're done bringing them back here, but I don't want grinding mess on here again. So I've run out of space for this film, so I'm going to wrap it just halfway through cleaning Swampy. Sorry about that, but at least you can see he's okay and looking good and going to come out quite nice. Obviously 4 years has took a little bit of wear and tear on it, but considering how much fun and pleasure I've had with the car, I think it's a small price to pay. The memories, photographs, videos from this car have been incredible, and indeed they're already clocking up with Ruby now. I think Ruby's set to overtake Swampy, I think, in build quality and just general finish, but Swampy did a good job. He did well. So we'll keep him clean, don't worry, go out for the local shows. He'll do a few Scotland trips this year. Isle of Man, I think I'm going to in Swampy to the Isle of Man. That's going to be a good holiday. Okay, wrapping it here now. I've got to clear this floor before I get too tired. And we'll see you. Well, you'll look out for episode 4 of the inspection on Bramble, and then after that it's time to start, because we get to the end of March. We hope that unit's in about a month's time. So in a month's time, can you hold on? Bramble goes outside in the meantime with a cover over it. There's no damp items in it and no carpets to hold the damp. I'll be keeping my eyes on it. I've sprayed it in oil inside so no further rot, but it'll have to go outside under a sheet till we get into the unit, but that's okay because there's nothing really to damage, and it is a rainproof car cover. So that's the update. That's your Dinitrol double bill, bits and bobs thrown in all over the place, primarily Swampy of course. We will bring you that roof update on Bramble in episode 4 when I'll talk about it and show you that roof frame. Over and out for now on this one, and once again as always, thanks for the support on YouTube, thanks for the support on Patreon. If you've not seen the Patreon video, just go down, it takes us to it. People can just throw something in the pot, what you think it's worth each film. $5 a film, $1 a film. There's one film every month, so $1 a month, for $5 a month, for $10 a month, $20 a month. Depends what you think's worth it. Doesn't affect YouTube, as I said. Don't worry, you can still continue as always. No obligations. If you've not got money, I don't want to take money you ain't got. It's not like that. It's just anyone wants to put something in, and there's a reward scheme in place for everybody. Even YouTubers who just leave a comment, bare minimum, leaving a comment gets you in. We'll have a chat, drive out, whatever you want. I'm going to be doing some shows this season. I might be able to pop in and see some people along the way in the UK and indeed in Europe. So this season we'll be seeing quite a few car shows and quite a lot of welding on Bramble. Don't worry, I will still be doing that. Project will be full on. Looking at 2.5 years now with the good metal that we've got. Over and out for now. I'm rambling. I'll see you soon. Good night. Thank you very much for your comments. Subscribe if you ain't. Share the vids if you ain't. Facebook, blitz them, spam it. It helps the channel. Okay, catch you soon. Cortina City signing out before it gets too late. Good night. Quick clip before I go. Inside Ruby now, waiting to just park her up into the garage next to Swamp Monster. The warning light there showing us 3 flashes for the oil, because I've not got the engine running, so you get them bright flashes for the oil, 3 of them, because it's an important one. And because it's so blooming cold today, we're getting a frost, 0 degree up and low fuel there, so that's how it sequences through. If you just had them on all at the same time, you'd get funny colours coming up. So this system I built, have a look through the videos, early build videos, shows how this was made. This warning system also goes blue for when you've got a missed call or a text or a hands-free call in operation. But obviously you don't read your text when you're driving. I don't. I never do. My phone can hardly even get text. It's that old. I have my phone face down, not even interested. I hate text messages anyway. Can't stand them, but they're part of life, aren't they? Short messages are okay. Just get the long ones and you've got to reply it all back. That's just me. 3 red flashes, oil pressure. A green flash, 0 degrees, ice warning. Coming up now there, and then orange going in for you because your fuel's low, and indeed looking at the gauge, we're getting low. We're in the last red zone of the gauge. So that's where we're at. Just thought I'd show you that because you don't often get the chance. I'm usually driving when that kicks in. Okay, start up and your oil will go out. And indeed when I drive off up the ramp, the fuel will go out. It may not. Blue comes on, fuel comes on. Fuel's really low. And we need probably a plug change there. I've got a new distributor for this, by the way. We were just sputtering there, but okay, that doesn't worry me. It's easily done. It's so cold. See, I can hear that now. That's just missing on one. That'll go. We'll be okay. What we got? Oh, okay. Sometimes it'll do that. I reckon the plugs just want checking. Little mini series. I've got a new distributor for it. I'll show you that before I go. Hang on. New distributor. And this was only accidental. Ruby and Swampy's door coach line trims are exactly the same height. Oh, I like stuff like that. Yes! Don't ask me why. It's a total accident. Freak of nature. Coach lines are identical height. I like it. Oh, that does make me happy. New in from H&H Ignition, the best people to use in the ignition world. A imitation Bosch Dizzy, but mapped for the FR30 cam, an electronic system on it there. Okay, it's not stock, but what I've got to solder the proper old style connectors to the loom and wrap that in loom tape, so all you'll see is just that module on the side. And I think that again is a small price to pay for the reliability that this module is going to give us. Okay, I was a stickler for points, but I'll keep a manual distributor in the boot wrapped up in this box actually. So this one has the springs and the weights, the centrifugal weights and the vacuum advance set to match the profile of the FR30 cam. You give the information to H&H and they'll build one for you. It does come with a high power coil, but I'm going to be using a normal coil pack simply because the high power coil, it doesn't look forward. The rally boys don't mind, but I do. I can always get a sports Lucas style coil if I want to, but the one that came with this. But that's a nice unit. That's going on Ruby for that cam. Just actually stopped pinking now, haven't you? But I still find it a little bit tricky to get the timing exactly as I want it. I feel I'm missing a bit of power. There's tons of power, don't get me wrong, it pulls you back. But I just feel that I could get it a little bit better, and indeed I've been told that those distributors are the real deal from H&H. So 2 in, out of the 0 degrees, temperature for now. And damn, I forgot to clean the floor. Right, I'm going to back them out and do it. Okay, shouldn't be doing that, I'm getting tired. See ya, over and out. Sorry about that, we're back again, aren't we? But don't forget, he's waiting, just waiting for you. YouTubers, you keep this going. Good night. Striker. Oh shit. I think the leg's gone.